Hey, all you math Padawans out there, today we're looking at more proportions, how to write and solve them. Are you ready? Here we go. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to look at solving and writing proportions. If you haven't checked out the earlier videos about ratios, rates, and proportions, then you definitely want to go back in my channel and check that out. But proportions. This shouldn't be too bad. So a little reminder that proportions are basically equivalent. So when you have things like, I don't know, 3/7 and you have another fraction that is, what's that going to be? What's an example? 9/21. That you'll be getting the same thing if you cross multiply. So to figure it out really quickly, you kind of cross multiply. So you go 9 times 7 is 63, and 3 times 21 is also 63. Okay, so those are proportional. Yay. And there you go. Relationships. But sometimes you are going to have a variable. So first we're going to look at is how to solve. So how to solve. That's the first thing we're going to do today. So how to solve. And we just have to know that we're going to go and basically step A is cross multiply. And then step B is a very, very large but simple step to say is just to use your algebra rules. And hopefully you're at a pretty good place in your algebra growth. So let's take some examples. Let's start off nice and simple. Let's just do 5/8. So you have a proportion 5/8, and let's say 20/d. There we go. So we're going to go and cross multiply. Now, I know some of you are looking at a shortcut right now. I'm going to talk about the shortcut in a second. But if I go and cross multiply, 5 times d is 5d. Because math teachers love to see the work, right? So you have to keep that in mind. You got to play a little bit of a game sometimes. And the game is make your teachers happy. And plus, there is a reason. We don't just do it to torture you. Math teachers don't make you show your steps just to torture you. We actually do it so we can see what your thinking is. And we can help you with any kind of missteps you might have. So there is a reason. There is an actual reason besides making your life a little bit miserable sometimes. So we divided both sides by 5, right? That's how we get the d all by itself. And then we got d is going to be equal to 32. So there you go, easy peasy. Now I know some of you are saying this. Some of you are looking at this one. And you're saying, wait, 5 and 20 work really well together. I know I can times that by 4 and get that. You're absolutely right. And to make things proportional, it has to have the same kind of rate. So I'm going to times this by 4, and then I'm going to get, oh, look, that's just going to equal 32. Look, I didn't need to show my work. I just did it kind of in my head. Yep, that can totally work. You're absolutely right. There is nothing wrong with that unless it doesn't work out really, really pretty. And there are times when you're going to have not pretty numbers. Yes, it's true. Sometimes we do that to you. So like here's an example. Let's just say you had, I don't know, here we go. 2/3 is equal to 7, what? Okay, over x. So again, we're going to go and cross multiply. Some of you are still trying to do it in your head, and I know you are, and that's fine. So we have 2x equals 21. And then we have to go and divide both sides by 2. Divide this by 2. And then we get our answer. Nice bright yellow today. What's that one? 21 divided by 2? I think it's 10.5. Is that right? 10.5? I think so. 10.5. So do realize that you can't always do that little shortcut and that sort of thing. Now, some of you are definitely coming along in your algebra, and your teachers will start doing this to you now. They'll do this. They'll say 5/6 is proportional to 8 over x plus 2. That's exciting. So again, we're going to go and do our cross multiplying. So sometimes it's going to be a little more complicated. And this is how it ends up looking. 5 bracket x plus 2 is equal to that 6 times 8, that's 48. Great. So now, if you remember some of your algebra laws, going to go and expand those brackets. Sometimes kids forget to multiply by that 2 way over there. Please don't forget that. And you end up getting 5x plus 10 is equal to 48. So we have a nice little two-step equation here to solve for x. And we're going to go and do our adding, subtracting first. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. And I love working vertically. And that will give us 5x is equal to 38. And then I'm just going to go and divide both sides by 5. Divide that by 5 and divide that by 5. Remember that mostly your last step is going to be dividing. And depending on your teacher, if you had me as a teacher, I'd want you to leave your answer as 38 over 5. There are some crazy teachers that do like to do mixed numbers. I hate them personally for reasons I've said multiple times in different videos. Or 7 3/5. Or if you really want to be kind of crazy, you can go 7.6. But who uses decimals? No one. No one uses decimals. Okay. Now, that's the down and dirty, how to go and solve for it. You're going to get questions with tables for sure, because we always like to throw tables into equations and that kind of stuff. So let's see, I'm in the middle of basketball season right now, so we can go into some basketball stuff. Let's go some Celtics. Woo, go Celtics. If you're a Boston fan out there. And let's just do shots and points. How about that? So a fictitious basketball team, we'll call them the Dragons. And we know that they shoot, so they take a number of shots and they get a number of points. And we know that in one game, they took 14 shots and they got 12 points. Okay, 14 shots and they got 12 points. It's not too bad. And in another game, they scored 18 points. And I want to know how many shots they take. How many did they do? Well, we need to go and set up our proportion. So when we're setting up a proportion, setting up a proportion, there's basically one thing you gotta keep in mind. So you remember, gotta keep the same stuff on the top and bottom, the numerator and the denominator. So that's the only thing you need to really remember, and then go and solve. So what's the stuff here? The stuff here is going to be shots and points. So it doesn't really matter which one you do either. So do realize that it doesn't matter which one you do. So as long as you're consistent. So I'm always going to put shots on top. I'm going to put points on the bottom. Why? I don't know. So it's just written that way. You could be crazy and you could go points over shots. It doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. So you have to make something that says shot over points is equal to shot over points. And one of these things is going to be your question mark, which is just an X. So let's go and do it, yeah? Sweet. Let's get green, since we're talking about the Celtics. So I did 14 here. So I'm gonna deal with this one right now. 14 there and 12 here. And it gave me a question mark. I'm gonna call that X now. And 18. So that's what we're going doing. And then we're gonna go back to our regular way of how to go and solve things. So I'm going to go and cross multiply. I'm just going to go over here. And 12 times x gives me 12x. And 18 times 14. I'm hoping you have a calculator, because that's crazy, right? Who does that in their head? 252. Sweet. And then I'm going to go and divide. Both sides by 12. I'm hoping my numbers become really cool. Otherwise, it's going to be weird. Nope. Good, I got a nice number. Sometimes I create questions that have weird numbers. X is going to be equal to 21. So, how many shots did it take to get to 18 points? Took 21. 21 shots to get to 18 points. That's not too bad, actually. What's your goal? What's your goal when you're shooting? Well, for every possession, here's some basketball knowledge, right? So for every basketball possession, you want to score 1 point. So it's all about points per possession, PPP, in basketball. And if you can get 1 point per possession, you are going to be a very successful team. In my history of coaching, I've only had a few games where I've had over a point per possession. And here's some fun thing. What's the best shot in basketball? What's the best shot? Did you just say it? Yes, it's a free throw. A free throw is the best shot. What's the second best shot? It's a three-pointer. And what's the next one? A layup. And then a horrible 15-footer in between the 2 and the 3. So, go for free throws. Get to the line, get fouled. There you go. Math and basketball. Couldn't ask for more. Have a great day. Do good things. Thank you, all you math Jedi out there, for tuning in for another edition of Math with Mr. Douglas. Until next time, do good things.